Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Vance Williams out of Seattle, Washington. Welcome to my Forex trading show. It's Tuesday, November 18th, I think. I still have a bit of a cold from traveling and what have you, so my voice might be a little raspy and I might cough like that once in a while. Do have an announcement. We're releasing 3 different training programs in a couple of weeks, and when we do, I'm going to do something really special, so keep your eye out for that. It's going to include training on medium-term trading that you can do extremely part-time, as well as our high-precision price logic trading that we've been doing for years. Also, this is going to include a training solution for Asia Pacific. So those of you who are living out in Indonesia and Philippines and that sort of thing, there is going to be something new for you guys as well. So watch for that. To see more of what I'm talking about on the show, let me share my screen real quick. Just noticed I'm not doing that. To see more of what I'm talking about on the show, let me see if my mouse is on there. Yeah, be sure when you click play, pause it, click be part of the conversation right here where you see my mouse. Click that, and then you'll be able to join me on Twitter, so you know a few minutes before the show is happening, because I don't do them at the same time every day. Close to the same time, but sometimes much earlier, sometimes a little later. But you can follow me on Twitter. I'll tell you what's going to be on the show, and you'll know 5 minutes before it happens. So you can basically get a text on your phone. And also, you can go here to forexartofwar.com, and that's going to take you to my website if you want to get these free Forex books right here. Some of you guys are looking for 8 things they don't tell Forex traders. That tells you why so many people fail. And then you've got a good foundational starting point with the first battle here in this other book. So these have had tens of thousands of downloads. So lots of great feedback. All right, so let's get out of there. Let's see what else. Let me just stress that what I do on this show is for your educational purposes only. I mean, you have to know your probabilities, you have to know how to manage your risk, and you have to develop the ability to execute well. And so, just knowing which way price is likely to go is not going to help you make money. You might get lucky for a while, but then you'll lose it all. So really just use this time with me to learn and maybe to help guide you in your goals here. Talking about big banks this morning, I took a quick look at some of the big bank trades. They've been getting stopped out of more trades than usual the last couple of days. The bank that's been losing the most in Europe the past few weeks amazingly continued to pick almost every trade wrong. And not only that, increase their frequency of trades. So it's almost like they're panicking. I'm not going to mention names because I just don't want to go there. Now, I want to point something out, by the way, but they are big banks. They're major banks. Now, I want to point something out. Some of these banks that I've been watching, since you guys have been hearing me talk about it, they were levied some big fines last week, at least 3 of the banks that I watch. It was about $3 billion in fines total. And I think, for example, Swiss Bank got, I think it was SBC, don't hold me to that. They were fined like $660 million. So anyway, that had to do with dealers like our brokers showing these banks where our orders were located. And they'd been doing that, it looks like, for a couple of years. But with respect to their trading, it's been thought that they might be more conservative as we come into the end of the year now because of these fines and holding on to what profits they have. So between that, Thanksgiving and Christmas, we might see a bit of a slowdown these last 6 weeks of 2014. We'll just watch and see. Now, keep in mind, I have no way of validating the information I'm receiving about big banks, but based upon my experience and what I'm seeing, the information appears to be correct. Okay, in fundamentals today, which for those of you who don't know, if you're new to Forex trading, fundamentals refers to news, information about particular economies. It also refers to the overall sentiment, what the conclusions are about that information. But in fundamentals today, this morning we had CPI out of the United Kingdom. That was probably the most important data out of the UK we were watching for this week. That was at 4:30. And I've got the pound up. If you look at my mouse, you can see that came out right there, bounced up, bounced down, bounced up. So it was fairly flat. So it was potentially a market mover, but ended up being a market ranger. Anyway, long term, we're still bullish on the U.S. dollar. I said, when will the dollar make its new move in my title today? That's what all of this analysis is ultimately about. And I'm not sure we're going to get a good idea today about when that's going to happen. And maybe I'll talk a little bit more about that. But we're long-term bullish U.S. dollar, bearish euro, bearish pound. So that has not changed. There's nothing fundamentally that's happening in the world that has changed that at all. The feature high impact data ahead this week will be the Bank of England tomorrow. Is that correct? Yeah, I think so. And that's the thing that we're going to be watching for, or that's probably the most important data this week. We'll see what they have to say. And then Draghi speaks again on Friday. Now, when he spoke earlier this week, it's one thing to listen to central bank policy, but it's another thing to have your members of your central bank, Eurozone, disagreeing with what you're saying. So Draghi has been running into a little bit of resistance to some of his ideas from his partners like in Germany. So, that to me, that just creates more uncertainty. But maybe they'll get on the same page on Friday. Sorry about that. I am live and I'm not kind of reaching for the mute button. So let me slow down just a little bit. All right, so let's talk about price. Go to the euro first. I had a trend line in here yesterday. Let me look at the time. 1800, 1600. I thought we would get a bounce in this area yesterday. A lot of buying interest. It chopped down and then boom right here. So you can check out yesterday's show and see that. It was just, it's just when, buyers, for example, see an obvious area like this, they go, I think we'll get a lot of buying interest there. So they did get a bounce. I wasn't looking for much more than, 20, 25 pip bounce, but it ended up taking off and going the other way. So the euro, if we zoom out, we're now we go back to November 6th. We can see it buy orders here. There's a big area right here. We should probably mark that. That one's really big, and that's in the area of 2,400. So let's put a mark on that. So you got to know when this comes down here, there are buyers camped out right there. I mean, there are orders all through here. And then, there are almost always some buyers camped out at the all-time low. When I say all-time, I just mean, most recent lows. If we go out to the daily chart, you'll see that's low, 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 right? Let's go back. So that area is, let's see what that area is, right? Price label. 123.60. So the euro's gonna, the dollar's gonna have a fight through this area. So it's got all kinds of room if it turns to move down all the way to here. This is going to be where some of the buy orders are sitting, and then you're going to have more here. So, it'll have to have something pretty strong to drive it down. So anytime you get in these areas, if you're looking for a trade, you're going to have increased risk, and this is something you can learn from this show. You have increased risk, so make sure you get a better price because you're going to have pushback the other way. Now it may be strong coming down, but you're still going to have that pushback. Now, you may miss the trade, like I talked about yesterday, but you have to manage the risk. You can't manage your risk based on faith. Oh, I think it's not going to come back. You can't do that. So you really have to know not only which way it's going to go, how strong an advantage is, but also you have to be aware of the risks so that you can manage them. Right now, as you can see, the euro's just, it looks like it's a little bit bullish up here in terms of this overall movement. You can see that it's an ascending channel through here. And then we kind of cap out right up in here where it's tried a couple times just above 12500. So you could say that we're probably locked in this range right here right now of about 120 pips, which is pretty big. So right now you could actually look to trade this up to that level. So let's drop to the 5-minute and let's see what we've got. All right, so we need a move above here before we consider a trade, because the behavior that we look for, clear move, pull back, second push. Look, that happens pretty fast. Let me zoom in a little bit. It makes a move. It pulls back to about 50%, 61.8. It makes a second push. This is the most repeated pattern in Forex trading. If you're going to be precise in these more questionable times of sentiment and fundamentals, you have to know how to read all of this. And so this is strong move, pull back, second push. So what we need right now is we need that to happen above 25.38. And let me jump back out to that 30. And you really need to try to get out of that before it hits those sell orders that are going to be sitting right there. Trust me, there are sell orders all through here and above here a little bit too. All right, so that's part of your risk if you're executing a trade right in this area. All right, so right now the buyers have it in terms of this 120 pip range. If you get a move above 25.38, you know, you might have something there. You're just going to have a movement strong enough to get in and out with good risk management. All right, let's go over the pound. The pound had a really strong move coming down about 331 pips. So, and you can see right now it moved up, did a little bit of a correction, came down, couldn't make the bottom, and installed. So the really important number right now, the next challenge for the dollar here on the pound is 156.00. Now, if I zoom in a little bit, you're going to see I've got a trend line. I mean, you could call this a TD point, but it's, you know, precisely a TD point would actually be, well, almost here and here. But anyway, the bottom line is this is the important level here. And then it looks like it could go either way right now. So if the euro decides to continue that move up, the pound will probably follow given the data that we have. And so you're looking for a move above 56.67. So strong enough to get in and out with good risk management as it makes that move pull back in second push. So watch for that. Anything else? Oh, how much movement to the top side? You can see this corrected, this whole move down to 38.2. So there's going to be probably, if it does happen to make it up in this area, there's going to be a lot of seller interest right in this area. And then additionally, right in this area. Full correction on the pound is usually 61.8. So right through here. So you just have to watch how strong it is. But the first sellers will be right in this area right here. So you've got plenty of room. I'm not too worried about this correction here. I don't think there's going to be a lot of sellers camped out here, but there will be some. So you've got room. What do you got? You got about 65 pips all the way to that 38.2. So let's take a quick look at the Australian dollar. It's kind of in the middle. Easy to identify the key levels here, right there, you know, within a pip or two. And right here. So these are your key levels on the Australian dollar. Kiwi, it's going to be top side. Oops, do we get across? No, not quite. So about right here, 79.71. So it's actually testing that right now. So that's something you could possibly watch. And the bottom level is pretty obvious too. I'm going to say 79.04 for a move down. All right, let's see. What else? Members, we're going to see you in about an hour. We're going to get together in our member only live trading room as we do Monday through Thursday. Guys, remember, you can get my books. Just if you're watching my show from, you know, you can click on Twitter. You can click on Forex.org. Get those free books on the top right at forexartofwar.com. Also, you can email me if you ever have a question about Forex trading. I'm happy to answer your questions. So just email me, Vance at forexartofwar.com. There's just tons of ways to get a hold of me. I'm really easy to find. Oh, one last thing. I'm going to be starting a Forex trading club in my local community. I'm just interested in getting together with people, you know, face to face and talking about trading ideas. And so for anybody living anywhere near Seattle, for those of you with the money to fly in, we're going to be doing that. I'm not sure if it's going to be weekly or bi-weekly yet, but I'll let you know. Anyway, so you guys have a great morning. That's it for today. I'll be back tomorrow morning. Cheers.